Okay, I've got somebody asked me recently about the Lashi. Do you know what the Lashi is?
I need that spelled for me,
Do
and then I
not.
can Google it.
Leshy.
Oh, is this what you get that stays on your genitals if you have sex with the lesh?
No, you're thinking of the Ghoulie Goiter, which is
Once again, become a Patreon member, listen to the Grave Nugget.
Exactly. In order to understand the strange language we speak. No, I was, if for those of you who have watched the most recent season of The Witcher, there is a monster from the video games that makes an appearance in kind of a different form than we're used to seeing it, which is the Lashi, which is kind of a plant monster that does plantish things. And in the game, it's like this stag-headed sort of old god situation that sort of throws bees at you and does nature damage. But
Nice.
That is all to say that this creature, the Lashi, is based on an actual figure from Slavic mythology, which got me looking into legends about wild men, which is a term that you hear thrown around when people are talking about mythology or folklore, or sometimes even in Sasquatch kind of theory circles. And the Lashi,
various beastmasters from our time.
The Lashi or Leshin actually falls into this category. And in doing some research, I found myself once again at ancientorigins.net, the myths and legends of Europe. This is wild men of the ancient world.
Bum, bum, bum.
Legends across the globe tell of a humanoid beast. Are they real?
Yeah. Werewolf Radar says yeah.
We think they're
seems likely.
Mm-hmm. So this is kind of a historical account of wild men, things that, are they talking about Bigfoot? Are they talking about some kind of a metaphor for the primal darkness that dwells within the heart of man? I don't know. You decide.
Was there a medieval ghillie suit? Who knows?
First up, the wild man Enkidu. What y'all know about Enkidu?
I know that he's a formative god from Assyrian or Babylonian. His name pops up in a couple, different religious texts.
You know about it. That religious text that sounds like a delicious dish, Gilgamesh.
The Epic of Gilgamesh.
You guys want some Gilgamesh? If I got some Gilgamesh for the table, would you?
I would have some. Yeah. Put an order of Gilgamesh in.
Enkidu is the earliest surviving mention of a wild man. And this is in the Epic of Gilgamesh, which I'm not overly familiar with. I know kind of a Mesopotamian reference when I see one, but that's about it.
It's a wild tale. It involves the adventure of Gilgamesh as he goes up against riddles and gods and kings and giants.
Yeah. And Gilgamesh is kind of a god.
He jumps across a bunch of stuff. Yeah, he
survives a great deluge.
He's huge.
Yeah, he's something.
And it's a story of friendship with a man named Enkidu.
Nice. Okay. Enkidu is a central figure in the epic in which he is described as an uncivilized savage who was raised by animals and lived with herds and game in the wild. Enkidu. He is the embodiment of the natural world and is the opposite of the cultured and eloquent hero Gilgamesh. Unlike many other wild men in other legends, Enkidu is able to be tamed. He is taught the ways of the civilized world by a prostitute, Shamat, after spending 7 days enjoying her company, which resulted in the animals rejecting her when they sensed her human scent on him. He becomes a loyal companion to Gilgamesh, and his tragic death deeply affects the cultured hero. Spoilers! Inspiring him to seek out immortality so he does not suffer the same fate. The fact a wild man plays such an important role in the tale as ancient as the Epic of Gilgamesh shows how inspiring the idea has always been to us. Or maybe Bigfoot helped Gilgamesh.
I'm for
Enkidu
Bigfoot
also
Gilgamesh.
is very much described in a Bigfoot way.
Yeah.
Like he's a big, hairy monster, and
Yeah.
he has to fist fight Gilgamesh before they can become pals.
Sick. Kind of a Robin Hood and Little John on the Bridge situation.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
I like that. Can somebody try to find the description of Enkidu as I move on to the
Yeah, I'll grab it for us.
Cool, thank you. The ancient European wild men. Now, this one, we're talking about kind of Greek and Roman myths, which are filled with sexually voracious wild men. Your satyrs, your Greek god Pan, who loves to fight. And who loves to party and fuck and drink, and that's his whole thing. Maybe fight, I don't know.
Yeah, he fucks and he flutes.
He fucks and he flutes. He loves to flute, that's for sure. The Romans also described a Celtic figure called Dusios. They compared the pagan god to their god Faunus and the Greek god Pan, but are careful to emphasize the savage nature of Dusios to differentiate him between him and their own wild men. That's very funny. So the Romans were like, in Scotland they have wild men as well, but they aren't as cultured as our wild men.
These are like battling motorcycle clubs.
Totally.
So here is...
Sure, we do a lot of fucked up stuff over here at the Hells Angels, but have you seen what those vandals did?
Yeah. I mean, we'll gut a fella, but not like in a gross way.
So Enkidu has been suggested that he may have been a bull man. Shown in Mesopotamian art but still a bestial man, very hairy and furry.
Interesting.
Having the head, arms, and body of a man, and the horns, ears, tail, and legs of a bull.
Nice. Kind of a centaur bull, a tauren.
Yes, but very much
that kind of plays into our transforming humans episode, our shapeshifters.
Sure.
Like the old Norse mythology is full of the berserkers who would just put on, the heads and skin of bears and wolves, and were believed in sometimes to have actually transformed into those things.
Yeah. So your European wild men go back to Neolithic cultures across modern day Europe. He is your Pans and your Dusioses are described as impregnating both women and animals, not necessarily with consent all the time. So a bit of a horrible rapey fucker. This is going to bring us down to. Oh, that's the end of them. It just says, by the way, they like to rape goats and segment. Okay. So
they got put out to pasture and they loved it.
Yeah, we go over to the kind of Russian Eastern European area. We're getting into Slavic folklore. We get over to a creature known as the Lashi. He's described as a short humanoid forest guardian with a large bushy beard and tail. The Lashi is rumored to capture children and travelers if they do not respect his forest. So kind of like a Hootie the Owl. Like, remember that guy who's like, give a hoot, don't pollute, but he'll like fuck you up. He'll take it away.
Look, owls will eat your eyes.
A Captain Planet. If
they won't even digest them.
Yeah, Captain Planet with a set who's ready to do something about this. These guys who loot and plunder. Although some people have linked the Lashi and creatures like the satyr, the Lashi is not associated with fertility and is closer to our modern Bigfoot legends than the Greco-Roman concepts of wild men. There are many other examples of wild men in Eastern Europe and Russian mythology dating back hundreds of years, and these range from benevolent figures who are protectors of the forest and mountains to sinister and demonic wild men who inflict harm on anyone who discovers them.
The Mongolians call them the Almas.
The Almas, yeah. The Ural region of Russia has a legend of the divine Iudi, who are beautiful wild people with the ability to tell the future, while the Kostroma Oblast region believe in the Chort, a hideously grotesque-looking wild man with a thin, tall, and cloven hooves, with a thin tail and cloven hooves, who is inherently evil in nature and is considered to be a minion of Satan by Christians in the region. In folktales, the Chort often tries to trick people into selling their soul for trivial things.
What a wonderful binary.
If we get over to the 10th century in Spain, there is a source that describes the penance given for certain behaviors, mentions the minor penalty faced by those who dressed up as wild men and took part in a dance, which was a resurgence of earlier pagan practice. Around the same time in 19th century, Irish folklore describes how a pagan king is driven mad when he attacks a Catholic bishop, eventually transforming into a beast who roams the woods.
It's a real silver bullet situation.
Yeah, holy moly. Went for it. There's
Stephen King, did you steal that story?
I mean, throw that out there for all of them. The answer is probably yeah.
There's a 13th century Norwegian text called the Konungs Skugsa, which describes a creature very similar to other descriptions of wild men. The text says that the strange creature was like a human, but with a great deal of coarse hair. It says the creature was captured in the woods in Ireland, and that no one could tell if it understood human speech or not. These accounts of wild men from the earlier medieval period are once again varied. There is the godlike wild man echoing Pan and Faunus. This is also sometimes called the Green Man, I think. Have you ever seen those like stone carvings of a guy who looks like he's puking leaves?
Yeah.
It's the Green Man. He actually might be coming up here in later medieval. Go on.
We've covered the Green Man before on this very show.
Mm-hmm.
Go find that, listeners.
It's on our list then.
It is in this period the earliest use of the wild man as a warning of the dangers of immortality. Interesting. You don't want to live forever like the wild man. The wild man is kind of takes on from there in medieval Europe, takes on kind of a like a pop culture figure. People know about the wild man, not really Bigfoot, but he's out there. You know, if they could print T-shirts, there would be T-shirts that are like, you know, don't harsh my wild man or something.
I gotcha.
Right. He's more of a Meatloaf type figure.
Yes. There are pictures, embroideries that show this figure with a thick pelt of hair, statues, carvings, illuminated manuscripts, even one or more obscure objects, such as a bread mold. There's a wild man bread mold.
That is awesome.
That's amazing. That sounds like something I might own. Oh, it's my Bigfoot Jello mold. You know,
I thought about getting a Bigfoot cast of his foot, you know, but I was like, no one has the Bigfoot bread mold.
Along with artwork, it is during the 14th century that the term woodwose came into use. You ever heard this? The woodwose.
The woodwose? No, I don't think I have.
I don't think I've seen that, which is strange.
That's what they called him. They called the wild man the woodwose, which is the probably has the origin that is the same as the surname Woodhouse, which kind of makes sense because, you know, he lives in the woods. The woods are his house. Woodwose. Anyway, medieval wild man was described in this guy, the woodwose, described in sources such as Sir Gawain and the Green Knight as a hairy, beast-like person who appears in artwork at the time as a bestial and vicious creature, though just like the Enkidu of the Epic of Gilgamesh, this wild man can be tamed by the right person, usually a pure and virtuous young woman, which is echoed in the film Ape Canyon.
It is. Watch that movie.
I'm glad that we've finally circled around to Ape Canyon.
Mm-hmm. I know it was.
I can close that chapter on my life.
The medieval European concept of wild man drew on earlier sources, including the Roman faun, Pan, this stuff, kind of a party guy, a wild man, if you will. One source for such legends like the Woodwoes is the Greek explorer Hanno, who traveled the western coast. Hanno described an island off the coast of Africa filled with hairy, predominantly female creatures known by the locals as the gorilla. Which turned out to be true. They were right. Hanno was right about the gorilla. Yes. If you haven't heard, the gorilla is real and true.
That's news to me. Gorillas?
It's real.
Mm-hmm. Here's a little excerpt on the Town of Wildeman. Rumored encounters with wild men have resulted in myths, legends, and artwork, and in one case, a founding of a town. According to a local legend, the German town of Wildeman was founded by miners in 1592. The miners claimed to have seen a gigantic wild man by the shore of the river Innerste. The wild man was swinging a fir tree as a club to defend his giant female companion from the strange men as they attempted to capture him and take him to show the local earl. Get away from my girlfriend. They claimed they were successful, but the wild man died on the journey to the earl. Then what happened? Where is he now? They probably ate him, huh? When they returned to the spot he had been, they found a rich deposit of ore, and the town was founded and named in his honor. In a further tribute, the coat of arms for Wildeman bears the image of a wild man, which was also a symbol for miners in Renaissance Germany and appears on a number of other coats of arms.
This is a coat of arms. How did you like it? It's about a guy we killed one time.
Mm-hmm. It is, it's pretty wild. It is, pun intended, but it, as much as this thing just seems kind of like a trope that has a hold on our mind, the ogre, the Bigfoot, the wild man figure, I can't help but find these little seeds where you're like, maybe they saw something.
Yeah.
It is a massive part of narratives going back at least 5,000 years.
Totally.
Like there's something in there.
It's pretty wild. And this concludes my history of wild men in a segment I'm calling Pretty Wild Man.
Awesome. Good name.
And that does it for another episode of Werewolf Radar. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, A from Beyond, for kicking it in the Zoom room. Our other Patreon subscribers, members of the Dark Council, we know that you couldn't make it today because you are laying way low, potentially trapped in a cave where the trolls you were tracking came back and are now asleep, and you can't get out because they're blocking the way.
Indeed. And you might say, did you send help if you know our situation? And I'll go, I produced an interview with a director of Wedding 93 that you can listen to while you're in this trap.
While you're trapped in there. And also you are already bristling with paranormal preparedness tips to fight off any number of trolls. Come on. Holy water? Absolutely. Sunlight?
Put it in a can. Open it up.
Iron? Salt? I don't know. Maybe trolls love salt. They seem like they might. Salt. If you would like to become a member of the Dark Council and receive additional content weekly and additional IRL stuff, merch, shit on occasion, you can go to patreon.com/werewolf radar and sign up for our Patron. You can patronize us. We love it. We love to be patronized.
It's neat. It supports the hosting fees, all the nonsense that podcasts have to deal with. It's a lot. And we thank you for supporting us.
If we get enough patrons,
plus it keeps us humble.
If we get enough patrons, we're going to hire somebody to friggin' produce this podcast. Roger already does a great job, but we're going to hire somebody to help Roger vault this thing into new levels of spookiness. We'll be in your home.
So we can do other things, such as finding cool guests, getting into your home like never before. Maybe to cook, maybe just to spook you. Who knows what we're doing in your home?
Maybe to cook spooky food that you'll think is great, and then you go to eat it, and you're like, ah!
Would you like some of my boosketty?
I made it with night cheese. I don't know.
Anyway, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Werewolf Radar.
Or
14filmfestival.com. Check that out too.
Or just give us 5 stars on the iTunes, or just give us 5 stars to your friends. You don't even have to do it online. You can say, hey, I give this podcast 5 stars, and then your friend will know about it and listen to us. And then we will all survive the wave of darkness that is washing across this reality. Reality B, maybe C.
Stop giving your stars to Universe A podcast, okay? Support your own Universe B podcast. We're Universe B with you.
We know things sound great over there in Universe A on all your favorite podcasts that are still recording from that reality. But listen, in order to get back there, you got to listen to this one. Give us your stars. They don't need them. My brother, and me. Friggin'
the Boogie Monster podcast.
Boogity Monster. They got so many stars. They're all in Universe A. We're trapped here.
We're trapped here with you. Okay.
Stars will get us out.
Get you out.
All right. Speaking of getting out
here with us.
Let's get the hell out of here. Shout out to Chuck from Snappy Little Numbers for our intro and outro song. And snout out to you, the listener. Oink, oink. Until next time, as always, our sign-off line on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Punch!
Spaceman.